Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Journeyman Football Manager with Zebu Nation. And here we are finally at the end of our first full season as a Journeyman coach. And it's been a pretty successful season, not completely successful, but we've done very well. First off, let's take a look at our own little history here, our job history. We started off 2 seasons ago, technically, where we got a job with Worcester. And it was the off season, and we spent basically half a year just building the club. And that really paid off during the regular season, where we led Worcester to a very successful campaign before we got hired away by the Wolves, the Wolverhampton Wanderers of the Sky Bet Championship League. And they were another English club, just like Worcester, but they were at a higher division. So we took that job, even though we were leading Worcester to a very successful season in the Venerama National League North. We can take a look at the league table here, and Worcester ended up finishing second place, qualifying for the playoffs. They lost out the championship of that league by 1 point to Boston United, but they still have a chance to get promoted. And we had a lot to do with that. We built that club. Well, we built it for 1 season, and we set them on the right path. We dominated that league for the first half of the league, but we got hired away to the Wolves, and we can take a look at where we're at with the Wolves right now, and we're a little less impressive. We're down here 14th place, which isn't great, but it's not terrible. Now, the board expectations were to finish in the top half, and we can only do that by the skin of our teeth if we win this final game. As you can see, we have 61 points here, and as long as Brighton and Nottingham Forest don't win in this final week, we can finish tied with them for 12th place, and I guess we'll vault above them for 12th place because we have the goal differential. So as long as if that's the tiebreaker could be wins, and then in that case we would not. But if the tiebreaker is goal differential, then we will definitely vault above these guys for 12th place and make top half by the skin of our teeth because there are 24 teams. So that math checks out, I suppose. We can take a look at the schedule and see where things went right, where things went wrong. So we were hired on January 22nd, day after a loss to Norwich, which cost the previous coach his job, obviously. And we've played 18 games since then. So in our first 9 games, we played very, very well. Down here to a 2-2 draw to Ipswich. We finished those first 9 games with 4 wins, 4 draws, and 1 loss. Pretty good. We were moving up the tables. We were, thinking about and in contention for a playoff spot. We were only a couple of points out of a playoff spot, maybe 3 or 4 points out of a playoff spot at that point. But then for our next 9 games, we kind of had an issue, and it's an issue I haven't experienced before quite in this same way, and it was sort of a team unity issue. And I've had team unity issues before, but not during a winning streak like this. It was very odd, or at least during a very good performance. And I think what the issue is the way this team is constructed. It's just sort of haphazardly constructed. There's a lot of higher priced players that we don't really need on this team. And a lot of them started complaining about playing time. They wanted playing time. They wanted to get moved. They wanted to get transferred and things like that. But the transfer deadline had already crossed, so there's nothing we could do. We couldn't get rid of these players, and our team captains couldn't placate them, and I was unwilling to start them. I thought I could maneuver them with the conversations that you have with these players, because that's what happens when a player gets upset. They want to talk to you about getting first team, and you got some negotiation you can do there. And I thought I could negotiate them, but one player in particular, I kind of messed up the negotiation, and the whole team thought I treated him poorly. So it caused some bad blood on the roster, I guess. And from there, we became incredibly inconsistent. For our next 9 games, we went 3 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. And that's not the end of the world. That's not a terrible record for a 9-game streak. But it kept us mid-table and kind of below mid-table. It got us to the point where we're at right now, honestly. So I think it shows you that maybe the board had a little bit too much expectations. But, as we go down the checklist and you see some of the other factors, you might see why the board has such high ambition for this club. So there you are in terms of the stats. In terms of the competitions. Mid-table, we're trying to finish top half. Team stats-wise, I looked at this earlier, and we weren't anywhere on the top stats. Not in goals, not in assists, not in much of anything. And not a lot of that has changed goal-wise. Newcastle, number 1 in the league with 95 goals, and we are nowhere to be seen on the top 10. We're just not a very proficient offensive team. Headers, second place. That's one of the things that I like to do. I like to have teams that head the ball very well so that we don't get beat on the back line defensively. And we've kept that up. So we finished second in the league with 67% of our headers won. Best possession, nowhere near the possession list, unfortunately. So our possession game wasn't quite working. Tackles won, second place. So we're still tackling well. It's a good tackling team. And the way it's constructed is it's a little bit more of a counterattack team. And I should have paid a little bit more attention to that, especially during our bad run. But I was sort of trying to push my possession style on them, and they weren't quite having it. Least conceded, we got up to 7th place on least conceded, only 50 goals allowed. And that was the biggest improvement that I brought to this team, was defensive improvement. Just less goals against and, more solid back line defensively. Most shutouts, we finished tied for second place. Most shutouts with 16. That's, we weren't even on this list when I took over as coach. So, just a lot of good defensive performances, but not enough offense. Most fouls were not on the foul list, so these guys know how to play defense without fouling. That bodes well for going forward in the future. Pass completions, not on this list. Shows you how poorly we controlled the ball. Most crosses completed, though, 8th. 20% of our crosses, that's pretty good, actually. In the MLS, 20% would be at the top of the list. So, it's pretty good season for crossing. And I think that shows what we need to do going forward is a little bit less possession, a little more counterattack, and throwing the ball at the net. And then hitting target, so best shot percentage, we are not on that list. Our guys just don't take advantage of it once we get in front of the net. Average attendance, this is one I like to look at. We're up to 11th here, 20,600, 66% of capacity. So I'd like to see that rise. I thought it looked like we were getting more fans, but maybe not. I don't know. We're stuck in the middle in terms of fans. So hopefully, because we had some good television games, and I thought that might bring in some fans. But we'll see. Only winning will bring the fans back. All right, get rid of that. We can go down the checklist now. Let's start down here with finances. And as you can see, our finances have gone down the tubes. And I'm not exactly sure why they've gone so far and so poorly. Because we traded away several contracts. We're only committed to spending $24,000. Next season's payroll budget will be $23,000, so we're going to drop that significantly, and hopefully that means we'll get our overall balance back in shape next season, should we survive this season. But yeah, we've just gone in the tubes. We've lost $14 million this season. I'm not sure where all that extra money came from. Maybe it came from hiring coaches and things like that, but it doesn't seem like we've spent that much money on coaches. We haven't brought in any huge coaches making millions of dollars or anything like that. We haven't brought in any huge players making millions of dollars. So just some sort of natural attrition happened. Maybe we had to pay a bunch of fees or something. I mean, we can look at the expenditure breakdowns. We had salaries, staff salaries. See, look at the staff salaries, pretty low. I mean, we can look at the expenditures for the season. The biggest amount, of course, was player salaries at $25 million. We gotta take care of that and drop that. Ground maintenance, $3.7 million. Match day expenses, $3.5 million. Bonuses, paid a lot of bonuses this season apparently. Staff salary, $3 million. That's not outrageous. We got a pretty hefty tax bill. Transfer expenditures. We just got a lot of interesting millions of dollars we're spending non-soccer costs, $1.7 million. So I don't know. We got to get our finances under control for next season. Hopefully we can gain some income, we'll get a little better TV revenue, I'm sure, maybe not much. 3.8 million's not a ton. That's like MLS level. So I'm going to try next season to build this team the way I build my MLS teams, which is with youth, because that's what this coaching, this journeyman coach that I've created, that's his specialty. That's my specialty, is youth coaching. So I'm going to try to build the team with youth, bargain players, and homegrown players, and we'll just get the most out of those players because I feel like this team has the capability to do that, to build players and grow them and train them up. So all we got to do is just drop a lot of the expensive free agents that we brought in and focus on youth. Here's the board. Our job security is stable, but it's a little low, 48%. Not happy about being below 50%. But we haven't given them too much to be overly thrilled about. We're just sort of doing the minimum at this point. So if we can get a full season next year, I think we can raise that up and definitely save our job. Club-wise, not a lot happening. Top goal scorer, Helder Costa, who was a big key for us coming back into the team. Ivan Cavallero, most assists with 7. Most players of the match are central defender Courtney House. So we've got some good players in place, and I think we're going to look pretty good going forward. Transfer-wise, we looked at all the transfers. Like I said, the transfer date passed, so nothing much we could do after the last video. What else can we look at here? Staff. We got a full coaching staff. We've got 8 scouts. We could have some more medical staff, but I don't think we need them at the moment. We could bring in a sports scientist for whatever reason. Still unclear what sports scientists do for us, but, whatever. Team report here. I don't know. One interesting thing we had is we did have a youth intake. So we got all these young players. We got a couple of decent players here. Carl Hornshaw is our #1 recruit, only 15 years old. He's got 4-star potential. He's only got 1-star ability right now, but he's looking pretty good. He's got tremendous teamwork, work rate, flair, so his mental attributes are pretty good. Physically, he's okay. I mean, for a 15-year-old, he's pretty good. 12 stamina, 11 natural fitness. That should propel him to pretty good stats. 13 technique. So as a 15-year-old, this kid's pretty good, and next few years, he's going to get trained up. And I don't know if we're actually going to be here for the next 3 years, but once he reaches 18, he should be a pretty high-profile player. Same with Mason Blake, 16-year-old goalkeeper. He looks pretty good. Only 10 reflexes. Hopefully those can get better. Tendency to punch, 15. He's already got good agility, jumping reach. He's only 6'1". His aerial reach isn't great, but hopefully those can improve in the next few years as well. And then we got a few middling prospects here. Will Ricketts, Joshua Hessen, Akil Riemann, 18 years old. So I don't know how good those players are going to be, but we at least got a couple of prospects there. Under 23s, same sort of deal. We got Bradley Carr, who's a very exciting 17-year-old. Now, he's 2-star in ability right now, 4-star potential at 17 years old. He's a guy I'd look to play next season quite a bit. at that right wing. I mean, we have an established player there right now, but he's not going to be there forever. Tom Mayer is another pretty good player, a striker, only 18 years old. He's a target man, though, and we're not real interested in playing target man. But he could be a poacher. He could, he's got the pace and the acceleration. I'd like to see his finishing improved, but other than that, he's pretty good. So we've got some interesting prospects in both the under 18s and under 23s that we can bring up and get some playing time. Yeah, I guess that brings us to our squad. Let's take a look. Goalkeeping has been pretty good this season. Not tremendous, but we split it between two players. Andy Lonergan played most of the season because Carl... I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce this name, but I think it's Ikem, or Ikem, maybe. But anyway, good old Carl was out on international duty for a long time, for several weeks. So we played Lonergan a lot. Lonergan played very well, but he got injured recently. He broke a finger. So we're going to finish the season off with Ikem. We've had some injuries also at the fullback position, and that could have been the cause of some of our troubles. But Yorfa was injured pretty badly. He's out for several months with a broken ankle. That's no good. And also Cameron Bothwick-Jackson also got injured for several months. He finally just came back this week, the final week. So there's not really any point in playing him right now. He's a lone player, so... we're not going to get any benefit out of playing him. And then, of course, the top free agent brought in by the previous coaching staff was injured all season long, never played. So that probably led to them getting fired and a little bit to our struggles this season as well. But in terms of who we've played recently, Ben Marshall at fullback has come in. I moved him from wing to fullback, and he's been pretty good back there. He's got everything you need at fullback: jumping reach, speed, strength, tackling, and his marking could be improved. That's probably why he's a winger more than he is a fullback. But he plays pretty well at fullback, and he gets forward quite a bit and quite well with his dribbling and crossing abilities. The other fullback, we've switched around several players. Matt Doherty is one of the players who caused a lot of problems for us this season in terms of wanting to play. You can see here he's unhappy. So we've played him in and out of the lineup, but we've also been going with Amin Nouri, 27-year-old Norwegian, who's also played pretty well. But maybe for this final game, we'll bring in Doherty and see what he can do at that fullback position. Central defense, Bath and House have played extensively and played pretty well, and so has their backup, Jonas Groner, a youngster we brought into the lineup, and he's played very well for us also. So defensively, central defense, I think we're very good. 3 very solid players. Saiz at defensive midfielder has played very well. Cody, you can see he's gained a star. He went from 3 stars to 3.5 stars. We played him extensively this season, the 24-year-old now. So he's played well and improved at that central midfielder, so he's really helped us solidified. Yep Anderson is another player who complained quite a bit this season. As you can see, we had to promise him some playing time, so he's been playing. Even though I would have preferred to be playing Jay Spearing down here, who's a little bit more of a possession style player, but whatever. We'll go with Yep Anderson just for team unity. Helder Costa, there's the player who came back from injury and played very well for us. I've been playing both Zero and Cavallero at the left winger, and this game we're gonna stick with Zero. He made some big plays in the last game. And then our big change this season was bringing Noah Diko up from the under 23s and putting him back in the starting lineup from where he was the last couple of seasons. For some reason he was demoted last season, but this season we've got him back in the starting lineup, scoring lots of goals, playing very well, and very happy about that. So there you go. There's the team. There's the starting lineup. And we're going to go into our final final game versus, it's a home game versus Preston. Preston North End. Take a look at these fellas and see what they're all about. The club background here. You can see they've done pretty well in their history. Founded in 1880, Preston North End, our professional English football club, playing in the Sky Bet Championship. Preston will be looking to build on their mid-table finish in Sky Bet Championship last season. The club play their home games in Deepdale and possess good training facilities and adequate youth facilities. The club's training ground is Springfields. The Preston reserve team play in Victory Park, while the youth team play at Springfields. Good for them. The club has average junior coaching and average youth recruitment. They are affectionately known as the North End. They're affectionately known as North End. And they retain a fierce rivalry with Blackpool and Burnley. The club enjoyed probably their best spell of success during the 1890s. That was a long time ago, fellas. Although now enduring a 17-year bearing spell, having not won a competition since 2000, North End still have a history of which they can be justly proud, just like every single club. Preston won the English top division in 1889 and 1890, and they finished with 6 runner-ups, won the FA Cup in 1889 and 1938. So their illustrious history is far behind them. And where are they at right now? They are 21st. They're safe from relegation by a mile, but still not good season for them. So we should be able to beat them this game. All right. So good old North End are going to visit us here at Molyneux. It's the name of our stadium. Old Molyneux. Preston's play away from home has been woeful recently. Home win. Ben Pearson will be a big miss for Preston. Okay, so they've got an injured player. They haven't been playing well away from home, so we should be able to finish this one out. They're going with a pretty defensive here, 4-4-1-1. Continue to our opposition instructions. Say that one time quickly. All right, let's close down on these fellers here. Close down on their advanced players. Yeah, there we go. Mark them tightly, and then we'll close down on their wingers. It looks like they're also sending their fullbacks forward. Browning and Cunningham also look to be going forward. So let's do this. Wait a minute. What are we doing with their midfield left? Not midfield, center right. No. Midfield winger right. There we go. Close down on those boys. Close down on the fullbacks. Mark them tightly. We don't want those wayward fullbacks streaking down the sideline all alone and throwing in those crosses. So there we go. We're expecting to win, and the fans are expecting the same. Okay, so we're favorites here. Go out there and give the fans a performance to cheer for. Nobody really cared about that. Instruction-wise, we're going counter. And we're playing disciplined and structured, which is kind of a fallback position, and it's kind of playing it safe, but I want to get this win, and we'll see how that goes. All right. I don't want this team to come in and catch us. So here we are. Here's the stadium. We got some empty seats up in the corners, but it's filled out for the most part. Now here's the thing. If we can get the Wolves, if we can get them humming, we'll get big support, and we'll we can bring this team back to prominence if we get another season under our belt. So here's Anderson sending it forward to Deco. Can Deco? No, he doesn't make a play. We got a fullback open on the right wing. Cody centers it to Anderson. Anderson gets it stolen. I probably would not be playing Anderson if he hadn't been complaining so much. I want to check. Yeah, Deco is not playing the right position here. He's playing poacher right now. I'd like him to be advanced forward. Oh, there's a shot well over goal. Poacher is what you play, in my opinion. Poacher is much better suited to a possession-style game. because you can hold the ball and hold the ball and hold the ball and wait for the poacher to make his move, and you can have that timing. Whereas when you're playing a counterattack game, you're just firing the ball down the field, and a lot of times you might fire the ball down the field at the wrong time where your poacher's not ready to make a move. But when he's playing advanced forward, he's going to be sitting back there waiting for that ball to get launched downfield, and then he's going to go after and track it down. There's a nice save by old Carl Akem. And let's boot it downfield. So not a lot of highlights so far. 11 minutes down. But yeah, it's taken me a long time to get this kind of knowledge. Not that it's any sort of deep, amazing knowledge, but just from where I came the first time I played Football Manager, knowing almost nothing. Here's Helder Costa with the free kick. Just over the goal. Knowing almost nothing about different positions and strategy. I've only been, a very casual watcher of soccer. So to know the difference between a poacher and an advanced forward is like, pretty huge knowledge level leap for me. So I'm very, very appreciative of that, I guess. I don't know. It's been fun learning this game and learning the various ins and outs of it. I don't like them getting all these special teams plays. That was a header just wide. 35 minutes gone. We might want to go to a little bit more of an extended... I don't know if possession style next half, but maybe control the ball a little more. Here's Costa again, off the wall, out of touch for a corner. Let's see if we can make something out of this. We don't really have great special teams this season. We don't have any leapers really on the offensive side of things, and our corner takers, they're nothing special. They're not guys who are gonna put the ball in the perfect spot. So there we go. Our best play is... it's hard to say exactly what our best play is, because we don't have the great finishers on the other end, and this team hasn't really taken to my wing overlap for me tactic. Oof. So the tactic I like to use with this formation is sending the left or right fullback down and using an inside forward at the wings and getting that overlap play. And they just haven't taken to that for whatever reason. Let's give some passionate talks here. We can still win this. Keep going. Instructions. Let's go standard. More direct passing and get stuck in. Let's crank up the tempo a little bit on these fellas. So yeah, this team, either the inside forwards tend to take the ball and run with it too much and not pass it out to the fullbacks, or the fullbacks don't act aggressively enough and get downfield and make the right crosses. So even the Worcester team that I had, which is a lower division with lesser players, they played this formation much better. So I got to figure out what these Wolves are good at, and what I feel like they would actually be better at the diamond formation, but their two best players are their wingers. So it's a matter of, do I want to get rid of those wingers, because they cost a lot of money. I could get rid of those wingers and go with the diamond formation. But I don't know. Let's see if Costa... See, this is Costa. He's an inside forward, and this happens too much. He dribbles the ball and does this. Here's Deco taking a shot. He gets a corner out of it. So it might be the kind of situation where you need to get rid of your best players to have the team move forward. I don't know. Anderson with the free kick. That's interesting to see him taking a free kick, but... Or not the free kick, the corner. So no good, no avail. All right. Take a drink of tea and see what's happening. There's Doherty with the throw in. Zero gets it stolen. Not much happening here. 64 minutes down. Try to put more crosses in. Okay, so I've just made that change kind of accidentally, but why not at this point? So as we saw in the stats, we are pretty good at crosses. Here they are. Their fullback Cunningham is down the sideline. See if we can close down on him, and there's a shot. Wow, that was a rifle shot. Luckily, it just went wide. Here's our instructions. We got the change. Is there anybody we need to get out of there? Not particularly. Deco's not having the greatest game at a 6.5 rating, but that happens. Got several players looking complacent, so let's give them the old pep talk. Passionately show some passion out there. See if we can shake them out of that complacency. Remember, we need a win here. We got to get a win. So 70 minutes down, we might want to change our instructions now to attacking. Be more expressive, be more flexible. Yep, and we're going to need it. We're going to need that because they just scored in the background. Jordan Hugel. I didn't see the lead up to that play, but that was terrible. See what happened. Brown just fired it forward, beat our defense back. Hugel just chipped it past the goalkeeper, who I don't know what he was doing. He should have, I don't know, should have done something different. Alright, so instructions, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's close down more, tighter marking. "76 minutes gone. We got to score 2 goals. Here we go. Costa sends it in. Can Bath get a header on that? Nope, no foul either. There's 0, no good. I would have liked this team to draw more penalties. I don't remember a single penalty kick this season from this team. So we drew very few penalties. 83 minutes down. Looks like we're heading for a loss here. Gonna bring Spearing in for Saiz. Gonna bring Caballero in for 0. Send him on the attack. I guess we'll send Anderson on the attack as well. We'll send everybody forward. Attack, attack, attack. Everybody attack. Doherty, go attack. Let's go, boys. Let's go. The best we're looking at here is a draw. We can get a goal here late. Here's Costa with the free kick. Again, our free kick's not that great. That was pretty bad play right there. Marshall, let's not turn it over. Alright, we're still got the highlight rolling, so we might get something here. Oh, that's a lucky play to Caballero. Caballero with an awful, terrible shot. That's another thing, these guys, they shoot from distance way too much instead of working it into the box. We'll put Deco back on poacher duty. See if he can sneak past the defense in the last couple of minutes here. We need that recovery goal. We need 2 goals, but that's probably not going to happen. 30 seconds to go in regulation. 2 minutes of stoppage time after that. Be nice to get a steal here and a counterattack. Deco is in kind of position for a counterattack, but our guys are not. We're just letting them control the ball here. Go forward here. Alright, there's end of regulation. 2 minutes to go. Let's get the steal. There it is. Sends it forward. Caballero on the run. Caballero, can he get the centering pass? Deco. No, he sends it all the way across. Cunningham. Cody tracks it down. Marshall Spearing with a long shot. Maxwell with the save. That is probably going to do it. We got a minute and a half to go, and they're just going to eat up the clock, I'm sure. The highlight is still going. Hogan sends it forward. There's House, clears it up. Anderson does not go after the ball. That might end the highlight right there. Minute to go. Minute left. Let's boot the ball downfield there, fella. This is an incredibly long highlight. Deco wins the header to Anderson. Anderson out wide to Cavallero. It's intercepted, booted downfield. There's a foul by House. Less than a minute to go now. 30 seconds on the clock. Looks like we're going to go down to ignominious defeat. Hopefully this defeat doesn't cost us, me in particularly, my job. But we'll see. There's Cody with a steal. Can he get it downfield? There's Deco, gets the ball stolen from him, unable to control it. 15 seconds left to go. Cunningham, Brown. No, they're just... the North Enders are just controlling the ball on us, and there's the full time. We go down to defeat in our final game. Not good. Assertively, simply put, not good enough. All right. Take a look at the stats and analysis here. 26 interceptions for House, that's pretty good. 21 for Sace, that's also pretty good. 88 passes completed for Yep Anderson, all right. Costa did not play well. Zero did not play well. Deco did not play very well either. Stats. Ratings-wise, completely average. Everybody mid-sixes. They had one player who outclassed everyone on the other side there, Alan Brown. Player of the match, 22-year-old Irish midfielder. Got an assist and an 8.0 rating. So there we go. There's the end of our regular season. Looks like Newcastle has won the league by many, many points. Nearly, by 18 points, looks like, over Huddersfield. So those two are going to get promoted. And then we got QPR, Norwich, Fulham, and Bristol City in the playoffs for the third promotion spot. And we are going to finish down here 14th place. Above Birmingham, Blackburn, Barnsley, Rotherham, Brentford, and Ipswich. Below Brighton, Sheffield Wednesday, Nottingham Forest, Derby, Aston Villa, Leeds, Reading. So there's some pretty prominent names above us. But, we should be able to, I think if we get this team constructed properly, we should be able to compete with those teams and secure a playoff spot for next season. I'm pretty confident about that. Should we keep our job? That's always the question. All right, so I guess that's it for our first season. We'll come back for the long, long off season. As you can see, we got a long ways to go before the next transfer window. And then next season won't open up again for a million years. Probably until, I don't know. I don't know when the season starts. Definitely not January. I guess we could look at the schedule and see when the season starts. The season starts. Oof. That's crazy. August, huh? Starts in August. Okay, so 3 months. We got 3 months to go. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So I guess we'll see you then. So until next time, this is the Journeyman Football Manager. See you later. Bye-bye.